Oh, haven't gone to bed yet, right? Good morning and welcome to our Sunday celebration service here at Center for Spiritual Living, Minneapolis. If you're joining us online, take another sip of coffee and lay back. And here's to you. Our mission here is to teach, demonstrate, and inspire a positive spiritual approach to living, because our truth is there's a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can consciously use that. And we do a lot of conscious things. We had a celebration of consciousness on Friday evening with lots of different people and people from different unities and stuff like that. So it was a very, very nice, you could feel the energy in the room, especially by the end of it. So, and we'll talk a little bit about our workshop on Saturday a little bit later. But right now we're going to have a song from Scott and Victoria.
You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum and bring gloom down. You gotta have faith or pandemonium will be liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark, what did they do when everything looks so dark? I said you gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark, what did they do when everything looks so dark? I said you gotta accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. Oh, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
You know, she was talking about Noah and the ark, and do you know what the lion said to the lioness when they came off the ark? Did you enjoy the buffet? Okay, I guess we'll keep going. Oh, goodness. Well, let's start with a group reading, then we'll move on to a prayer. Repeat with me. I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. I am ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a former... Oh, there we go.
I am ready to be a transformative life
in the world. I'm still laughing at my joke. It's just going to take me a while to catch up here. Okay, let's turn within for a few moments. There's one life, one presence, one infinite intelligence that expresses as joy, love, and light. It flows through everything and everyone, including each of us right here and right now. Today we walk the lighter side of the path of transformation. We remember Dr. Ernest Holmes' wise words, I do not even take myself seriously, but I take what I am doing seriously. So with that in mind, we release the weight of self-importance and open to the freedom of full spiritual discovery. We are here not just to grow, but to glow, to allow humor, lightness, and joy to uplift our journey. We welcome Spirit's presence in our service today, into our hearts and into Reverend Debbie's words, knowing that it is all unfolding with grace, wisdom, and a wink of divine delight, and so it is. And as we do every Sunday, I'll invite Joan to come up. We recognize that there are many paths to the one. We recognize that there are many names for the one. And we do that by just honoring some of the religions that have been around for quite a while. So first, we light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. And we light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the great path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the gift of love. And we light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And now I invite you to light.
Light it?
Yep. You bet. And now I invite you to light that candle within for all forms of new thought, knowing that it burns brightly deep within you every second of every day. And we are very blessed with that. And so it is. And now we will have a reading from Julie.
Morning. Can you hear me? Okay. Taking off the glasses. This is from Alan Cohen on not taking life too seriously. Don't take your life so seriously. No one else does. Lighten up. This is not a test. It's a playground. You're not here to prove yourself. You're here to express yourself. Life isn't an endless series of hurdles to clear or a puzzle to solve. It's more like a dance, sometimes graceful, sometimes awkward, but always meant to be enjoyed. When you stop trying to get everything right and instead focus on showing up with love, humor, and authenticity, life follows with far more ease. The universe is not a harsh judge, but a creative partner. When we loosen our grip, when we begin to see that joy is a spiritual practice, not a reward for perfection, but a sign we are in tune with the deeper rhythm of life. Worry and anxiety block the flow of divine ideas and inspiration. Humor opens us up. Laughter is holy. When we laugh at ourselves, we drop ego and enter a space of pure connection with spirit. So go ahead, make mistakes, get messy, be human. Spirit delights in your willingness to show up and play. When you bring lightness to your path, you become more magnetic to good. You'll discover that what you were striving so hard for often arrives naturally when you're simply being you. Life is not a burden to bear, but a song to sing. So sing it with heart and don't forget to dance. Thanks.
And one more from Victoria and Scott.
What kept me sad was a story in my head about what I never had and what I never said. But I can sing a song the flowers gave to me. It helps me to be strong. It helps me to be free. When I'm walking with you, I'm walking with God. When I'm talking with you, I'm talking with God. When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. When I'm laughing with you, I'm laughing with God. When I'm singing with you, I'm singing with God. In the arms of my friends, I'm in the arms of God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. What kept me sad was a story in my head about what I never had and what I never said. But I can sing a song the flowers gave to me. It helps me to be strong. It helps me to be free. When I'm walking with you, I'm walking with God. When I'm talking with you, I'm talking with God. When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. When I'm laughing with you, I'm laughing with God. When I'm singing with you, I'm singing with God. In the arms of my friends, I'm in the arms of God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. If God is all there is, then everything is God.
Beautiful. And now for our main event, Reverend Debbie.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So one day, Buddha was teaching a group of students, and they were in a grove, and it was so serene and beautiful and peace-filled. And they were sitting at his feet, and all of a sudden, someone burst out in laughter, uncontrollable laughter. And the senior monk stood up as if he was going to discipline this individual. And Buddha just raised his hand gently and said, "Dear one, why are you laughing?" And the man said, "Master, I've been trying so hard to empty my mind, to be free. And just now I was watching this squirrel run up the tree and start chasing his tail. And I couldn't help but laugh because I realized that everything's okay in this moment. That squirrel allowed me to be in the present. I don't have to try that hard." And Buddha said, yes, in joy there is an awakening, and sometimes joy reaches us faster than silence or study ever can. And that's what we're about today. We're about looking at that path of enlightenment, about taking life from a place of joyful curiosity and not from trying too hard to be perfect. As Jeff quoted from Ernest Holmes, I do not take myself seriously, but I take what I do seriously. And I just love that difference, right? I really do. And you know, we're all taught to do that serious adulting thing, right? I know when I first got into this teaching, actually it was before that, when I was like thinking, all right, I've got to become more spiritually aware, right? I decided I was going to meditate. So what did I do? I did transcendental meditation, because here's your mantra and here's what you do, and it's like really, here's the rules, right? I would read self-help books because they always had the rules, right? So I didn't have to, I could take my serious steps. And what I forgot was I forgot to take me with it, right? Because I was being too rigid about it. Anybody ever do that? It's like you try so hard to be so perfect because you want to do it right. But here's the thing. there's no doing it right. There's just doing it your way. Because your way is perfect. And that's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, right, to take things seriously and still approach it from a place of enlightenment, about not overthinking it, as they say, but to allow the joy to naturally flow. Anybody see the 2015 movie Inside Out? It's an animated movie. Isn't it a great movie? Yeah. I put a deck together, which I forgot to send to somebody to present. But one of the main characters is Joy, right? She's bright and she's dressed in yellow, and yellow hair and a bright blue dress, and Joy. And it's all about the story of this young girl, Riley. And Riley is in her early teens, and she's going through some different crises in life. And Joy, the emotion Joy, thinks it's her job to make sure that Riley is always happy, right? She's not going to let sadness or fear, none of the other emotions get to show up without Joy trying to suppress them. But as the movie continues, the emotion Joy learns something really important. That sometimes when Riley is sad, as she starts to work through her sadness, Joy gets to express at a higher level, right? It's more of a natural dance than a one-step. It becomes a natural way to express joy through the sadness. And I love that, because I think when we try to force joy, right? I'm going to fake it till I make it. I'm going to act as if everything's okay until it is, versus just letting ourselves sit with it, to be with it, and to dance through it, not so seriously, but joyfully. The absence of struggle is not why we are on our spiritual path, right? It's not about not being with struggle, because there is struggle in this human world. It's about being with the struggle and still being somewhat above it, observing it as we're working through it, and allowing that higher frequency to come in, that higher vibration. It's about choosing to be connected and transform, and in the process, growing and expanding our individual selves and our authentic selves. See, like in the movie, when we start to discover that power of joy is always within us, and it's always saying, here I am, let's dance, but yet it's not forcing it. And if we can just go with that flow, that easy flow, embracing the wisdom and the grace while we're walking through the struggle, while we're going through that hell, it makes the trip a little shorter and a little brighter, I believe. So Barbara Fredrickson did a research paper. It's called Broaden and Build. And she talks about how positive emotions like joy broaden our perspective and help us build lasting personal resources from within. That positive emotions like joy allow us to be more creative and more resilient. Allow us to know that this too is not going to last forever. Whereas fear and stress, it narrows our focus and it makes us much more reactive. When we're stressed or fearful, we don't necessarily always take a beat before we react, right? We're just ready to jump at it. But taking that beat, taking that breath, allows that to shift. And in her research, she has found that joy is most powerful when we allow it to do a reset of our mind, when we allow it to expand our conscious awareness of where we are. We just, in her research, she has proven if you just take a moment and take a breath, that you can become much more adaptable to whatever else is going on in the world. So joy is more than just an emotion. It is truly a state of frequency. It's really a vibration. We spent a lot of time this weekend talking about vibration. And the higher the state of vibration, the more open we are to the goodness of the world. We had a gathering in this very room on Friday night, and everybody shared. Alicia brought her incredible art, which was lovely. And everyone shared, like, what put them on their path of spiritual awareness, right? And you could just feel this room, this whole room just lifted up. The more sharing that happened, the more hearts that were open, you could really just feel the difference. Any of you there Friday night get that, right? You could just really feel the shift. David Hawkins, in his book, Map of Consciousness, he somehow measures frequency. I don't understand how we went about doing it, nor do I really care, actually. But he created this scale, right, of 0 to 1,000. And so on this scale, joy calibrated at 540. Love, 500. Gratitude, around just shy of 540. Whereas fear was like at 100. Grief was at 75. Shame was at 20. Right? Shame is not a place we want to hang out in. Because we're divine beings. We're our own individualized expression of the one. There's nothing for us to be ashamed about. It's one of those ego things that we can just let go of. It's not so easy just to get rid of fear. It's not so easy to get rid of grief. And it's probably not that simple to get rid of shame, but man, if we all start getting rid of, shedding whatever we have shame around, just give it no energy, give it no attention, give it no voice. And then at some point, just turn it over. Turn it over to that higher part of you called joy and let it deal with it. Yes, we've been taught to be serious and goal-driven, and we have an idea of what those goals are going to be and how they're going to show up and how long it's going to take. And I can tell you at this stage in my life, it never works that way. Because if we force it to work that way, it won't stay. Because we haven't built our own spiritual muscle to keep it. Things need to unfold in its own way and in its own time. And yes, goals are great. But it's just a mark. It's not like the end of it all if you don't hit it. What if joy is actually the key to everything falling into place? What if? What if? What if that idea that joy empowers us, it makes us creative, allows us to grow personally, spiritually, professionally? What if joy was the key to making it all happen? How much easier would life be? Passages from the Bible, Psalms. You will show me the path of love. In your presence is fullness and joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Do not grieve. Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. And that's just 3 of who knows how many references of joy in the Bible. These verses, they're not just fleeting emotions. It's strength, right? It is the strength of our spirit, of our soul. Ernest Holmes. To desert the joy of life in the endeavor to preserve it is to miss the whole point. Not even take myself serious. I do not even take myself seriously, but I do take what I am doing seriously, but I do it from a place of joy. I love that idea. So how do we become more joyful in practical ways? I mean, I know we want to be practical, but it's about, the first part, I think, is to make a shift, to know that joy is, in fact, a spiritual practice, right? It's a spiritual practice. It's about opening the heart. It's about doing what makes us feel good. Instead of labeling our emotions and our situations as good or bad, what if we just recognize that it all serves a purpose? That's all, it's just serving a purpose. And we are going to move through it, whether it's good or whether it's bad. So if we shift our perspective and rise above the issue at hand, be it a good one or a bad one, and if we just take ourselves up another level to that place of, let me look at this from a place of joy. If I opened up to joy, how does this now look to me? What is the purpose of this, and how is it going to contribute to my greater good? If we shift our perspective and stop labeling and judging, how does that change the day, let alone the event? Because I think we need to embrace all of it. I remember the first person close to me who died, really close, was my Grandpa Joe. And he and my grandma had 11 kids, and almost all of them lived locally. So we're in this hospital room, you know, he's already had one lung removed. He's lived a whole lot longer than anybody thought. We're in this hospital room, and you know, when you get together with family, you know, you kind of start remembering old stories, and you start giving each other a hard time, and you start laughing about things that happened when you were growing up. You know how that all goes, right? So imagine this room filled with all of these people, and yeah, it was kind of sad, but yet everybody was sort of there was a lot of love, and there was a lot of joy, and yeah, there were tears, but there was just so much love in that room. And I remember Grandpa Joe, he died, and Grandma was aware of it. And I was, because I was right next to her, but nobody else really got it at that moment, right? Because there was just so much love going. And when people got it, when my family got it, there was sadness, but there was still that remarkable joy and love in the room. It was a perfect blend of how sadness opens our heart, and joy and laughter from that place of an open heart can truly fill the room. And to this day, I think, what a great way to go. You know, what a great way to go. Dr. Roger Teal, in his book, This Life is Joy, states, the fullness of life comes from embracing every part of our being. Every part. And so we spend a lot of time on our spiritual path embracing the sadness and the grief and the struggle and what we call lessons, right? We spend a lot of time looking at what's not working and how do I bring spirit into this. But we don't spend that much time talking about love and joy and peace and celebrating that. What if spirituality is about celebrating that high frequency, that high vibration? And as we celebrate that, everything else just sort of starts working itself out. Laughing more is another good way. In fact, there's a group of laughing meditators in Southern California. We're going to try this one Sunday here. But literally, a woman comes into the room and she tells a funny story, and people start to laugh, and then you just laugh nonstop for 15 minutes. Imagine that. It is exhilarating and it's exhausting, and the next day your stomach muscles know that it had a really good workout. But have you ever just done that? Have you ever just gone someplace and said, I'm going to laugh for a while? Be it in your own home, be it out in nature, but just to laugh for no reason, but it feels really good to laugh. And I will tell you, when you're around somebody who's laughing, it's hard not to, right? We're going to do a laughing meditation here one of these days. You guys will get our good stomach workout. Victor Borg, laughter is the shortest distance between two people. The shortest distance, because you can't not join in. Now, you can resist it for a little while, but trust me, in a 15-minute meditation, you will be laughing. But there's no reason to wait and do it in a group. Well, you can do it alone. You can do it in your car. I love laughing in my car for no reason. I'm sure people are like, what in the heck? And, just to get them to think about it. And then we can cultivate gratitude. In yesterday's workshop, Selena suggested active gratitude, and I liked that idea. Not just, I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that, and that not that just that list, but and she talked about the body, right? I am grateful for this body temple. I'm grateful for the ability to breathe, and I'm so grateful that I can stand here. I'm so grateful that this body allows me to express itself. There's so many, and so it's more about embodying gratitude, right? Being grateful with an emotion behind it, with a feeling behind it, with a vibration behind it. Melody Beattie, gratitude turns what we have into enough. It turns what we currently have into enough. It allows us not to come from a place of lack, but from a place of enoughness, knowing that right here and right now, I have everything I need, and I am grateful. Do I want more? Sure. But right here, right now, I'm safe. I can breathe. I have a roof over my head. I have loving people around me. Right here and right now, there's really, truly nothing that any of us need. But at the same time, knowing that everyone here is loving and supportive and willing to know our truth for us. It's not perfect, but it's perfection unfolding in right order. I have an affirmation for you. Follow me. In this holy instant, I am spirit choosing joy. Doesn't that feel good? Let's do it again. In this holy instant, I am spirit choosing joy. Because we are always, 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 always at choice. And we tend to forget that because we get stuck in that serious business called adulting. We got to do this and we got to do that, right? We get caught in our doingness instead of in the joyful beingness. This week's assignment, Spend time every day just joyfully being. Just joyfully being. Laugh. Actively feel your gratitude. But most importantly, just choose to be the authentic joy that you are by birthright. I want to close with something from Dennis Merritt Jones in The Art of Being. You and I can never be closer to spirit than we are in this holy instant. We can only be more aware that we are already 100% spirit. And we do this consciously. We call it enlightenment. Joy. It's always available. Always available. And it is that gateway to that higher expression of who we're here to be. So, I joyfully close with a namaste.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Ooh.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, now is our time of the season and service for conscious giving. And I will start off by saying that we bless you already. And we thank you very much for your contributions to keep this place running. And with that, I will pass the baskets.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Thank you very much. We've already blessed you, so we're not going to do it again. So, we had a wonderful Saturday with our workshop. Lots of sharing. Again, the energy, just like Friday night, was palpable. It was very, very nice. We ended with a channeling at the end that Selena did for us. That was very, very nice. Thank you to the Wagners for helping us with food and setup and stuff like that. And if you want some good wild rice soup, I would stop by the restaurant because it was very, very good. So I believe Reverend Debbie has an announcement.
Okay, so for practitioner, she's not a reverend yet, practitioner Celeste, and I have been talking about this idea of a book club instead of a book study, because summer's coming up, right? I have notes here. So, we have selected a book, and the book is called Living Without Fear by Ernest Holmes. And here's the thing. This book was published in 1962. This was the same time that the Cuban Missile Crisis was going on. This was when the civil rights movement was really rocking in a lot of different ways. This is a time when John Glenn orbited the Earth 3 times. Marilyn Monroe died. Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. Now, I know a lot of us think there's a lot of crazy going on right now. Well, there was a lot of crazy going on then. And this book, Living Without Fear, puts some logic to that whole idea of moving up from fear to love, to joy, to observation, and bringing our light to the world. Bringing our light first to ourselves and then to the world. And yes, there's a lot of other things a lot of us are doing. But if we focus on being as loving and joyous as possible, which is what Alicia, I think, did with her art, right? It's about remembering that truth. The more we do that, the more we raise the vibration of the planet. And crazy can't exist in that 500 frequency zone. So, the book is this one. Celeste has going to be the practitioner supporting this. So we will, if there's issues, questions, things that come up as you're reading the book, she's going to address it. We might do a couple of quick Zoom calls between now and the time that the book is done. We are going to take the last Sunday in June to gather with a little barbecue at our house, not so far from here. He's just now hearing about this, so there's that. That's a surprise. This is the deer in the headlights right here. Anyway, but we're going to do a little barbecue and talk about the book and talk about how we've implemented it and what questions we've got and how we move into being the solution. That's all, the solution. We'll meet right on the last Sunday of the month, right after fellowship here. We'll just sort of go over and, I don't know, throw something on the barbecue and keep it simple. So, yeah, we could do a potluck, whatever. We'll figure it all out. See, there's the Wagners wanting to bring food again, which is so good. All right. So, I hope you all seriously consider picking up the book and reading it, and then joining us, because living without fear, what a great way to live, right? That's my announcement.
All right.
Bring this back up where I can talk into it. You know, she was talking about more laughter. If you need something to prime the pump with that, go to YouTube and find the little kid in the Pepsi commercial with the puppies climbing all over him. His laugh is infectious.
Also, the SNL 50th anniversary, all those clips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't there some guy that had cancer and laughed by watching the Three Stooges? Who? Dr. Patches? Yeah. So laughter is the best medicine sometimes, which was Irma Bombeck. We could keep going with this, but my coffee cup's empty, so I need to wrap this up here. So I'm going to start with a spiritual mind treatment, then we'll move on to a song and a blessing, and then a song, and then we'll go. So settle in for a moment and realize that there is one life, one intelligence, one divine presence that is everywhere, always, and in all things. It is the power and presence behind all creation, brilliant, boundless, wise, and joyfully alive. I know this presence is the essence of my being. It breathes me, it laughs me, through me, it loves as me. I am not separate from it. I am it, individualized. And I know this for myself, and I know this for you also, for everyone in this community and beyond. We are divine expressions walking a path of awakening with courage, curiosity, and of course, joy. Today I declare the path of transformation is made lighter through laughter, easier through joy, and deeper through delight. I release the need to take myself so seriously, and instead choose to take love seriously, to take the call of the soul seriously, and even as I dance with the divine in the playful surrender. I affirm clarity, ease, and openness as we let go of the struggle and open to the spiritual flow. I claim a consciousness that is not heavy with effort, but buoyant with trust. The universe supports our unfolding with grace and good humor. I give thanks for this teaching, for this day, for all the way that Spirit reveals itself through joy, wisdom, and yes, laughter. With a light heart and a deep faith, I release these words into the law, knowing that it is already done, and so it is.
And I'll leave you with this blessing. May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. May you be healed. May you be blessed. Namaste.
Victoria, before you sing, could you let us know where we can hear you and Scott?
Hey, yeah, sure. So, actually, I just found out within the past week I'm going to be singing at the the Twin Cities Jazz Festival. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's going to be on June 21st. I'm going to be singing from 9 a.m. to 12:30 at the St. Paul Farmers Market. So if you're over in that part of town or you want to go check it out, feel free to just stop by. I'm going to be singing with James Allen, who's also played here, so you guys all know him, so he'll be accompanying me. I'm looking forward to it. Scott?
I have a couple gigs, more than a couple gigs in June. One is with my Balkan Eastern European band. We're playing at the Nicollet Island Pavilion on June 17th. Which is a Tuesday, and then I'm performing solo at the Troubadour, I think the following weekend, I think it's the 26th or something like that. Actually, no, it's the 21st. I'm also in the evening. I also have cards that I brought with me, business cards, and I also have a sign-up page for my email newsletter that's on my website, too, so you can go ahead and grab that.
Oh, and one other thing that he made me think of. So Carl and I, Clover Club, we'll actually be playing this coming Friday at a brewery in Northeast called Patrick's at 7 p.m., I want to say. So it's a free show. Feel free to just stop by, listen to some bluesy jazz stuff like we do. All right. Is that all? We have all the things? Okay, we did all the things. So now we're going to do this thing. All right. There is a light inside of you, brother, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just want to tell you there is a light inside of you, sister, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a love inside of your heart, and I don't know if you know there's a love that is so strong. I just thought I'd tell you there is is a strength inside of your soul. And I don't know if you know there's a strength inside of your soul. I just thought I'd tell you there is a power inside of us all. And I don't know if you know there's a power inside of us all. And it's time to celebrate, 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 celebrate. There is a light inside of us all. And I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of us all. And I don't know if you know there's a light in the all. And it's time to celebrate, 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 celebrate. There is a light inside of us all. And I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of us all. And I don't know if you know there's a light inside of us all. And it's time to celebrate.